Hello, Humanists of Australia. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be reading Humanists Australia's Secularism Position Statement. For those that don't know, we create mission statements about many topics that are designed to assist with clarity on our stances towards the topic and a point of leadership for those looking for guidance. If you want to read this entire statement in full, then head over to our website. The link will be in the description. If you like the good work that Humanists Australia is doing, then please consider donating to the movement at our webpage as well. Even a little bit helps with all the work we do. Now, with all that said, let's begin. Humanist Australia values the inherent dignity and worth of every individual and recognises the fundamental importance of human flourishing within a just and equitable society. In pursuit of these principles, we advocate for the following. 1. The separation of the state from religious institutions. 2. Public policy that is grounded in reason, evidence, and universal ethical values. And 3. Fostering a society where all can flourish, whether they are religious or non-religious. What is secularism? The word secularism has been used in different ways by different authors. Humanists Australia adopts the definition provided by Andrew Copson in his book on the topic Secularism, A Very Short Introduction by Andrew Copson, Oxford University Press, 2019, as the following 3 parts. 1. Separation of religious institutions from institutions of the state and no denomination of the political sphere by religious institutions. 2. Freedom of thought, conscience, and religion for all, with everyone free to change their beliefs and manifest their beliefs within the limits of public order and the rights of others. 3. No state discrimination against anyone on the grounds of their religion or non-religious worldview, with everyone receiving equal treatment on these grounds. Secularism is not an attack on religion. Rather, it is a safeguard for religious freedom and pluralism. A secular government respects the autonomy of individuals to hold diverse beliefs, whether religious, non-religious, or otherwise. Without imposing any particular worldview on others, it fosters an environment where individuals are free to express their beliefs or non-beliefs without fear of discrimination or coercion, as long as they harm no other. How does Humanist Australia view secularism? Well, Humanist Australia values a secular society that promotes social cohesion and harmony by prioritising common humanity over sectarian divides. It creates a level playing field where all citizens, regardless of their religious or philosophical affiliations, have equal rights and opportunities under the law. By separating religious institutions from governmental power, secularism helps prevent the misuse of religion to justify discrimination, oppression, or violence. Furthermore, secular governance enables evidence-based policymaking, ensuring that decisions affecting public health, education, and other critical areas are guided by scientific understanding and ethical considerations. It fosters critical thinking, tolerance, and empathy, encouraging citizens to engage in reasoned dialogue and cooperation across ideological differences for the betterment of society. Considering these principles, for public policy recommendations, we advocate for the following. 1. Freedom of religion. Safeguard the rights of individuals to practice their religion or philosophical beliefs freely, as long as they do no harm to others, while also protecting individuals from religious coercion or discrimination. Denounce religious discrimination while affirming the rights of all individuals, regardless of their beliefs. Divisive barriers erected by religious prejudice have no place in a coercive secular society. 2. Freedom from religion. Defend the fundamental right of every individual to be religious or not. Individuals are free to live their lives with their chosen worldview without discrimination based on religious beliefs. Uphold the right of individuals to live their lives without being subject to religious coercion or interference. 3. Separation of religion and state. Uphold and strengthen the constitutional principle of secularism, ensuring that government institutions remain neutral in matters of religion and refrain from endorsing or favouring any particular faith tradition. Oppose attempts by any religious lobby groups, whether Christian, Islamic, Jewish, Sikh, or from any other fundamentalist or religious background, to gain favoritism for their religion, including through agendas such as the Seven Mountains Mandate or similar strategies within their respective traditions. 4. Inclusive public spaces. Ensure that public spaces and institutions, including schools, courthouses, and government buildings, are welcoming and inclusive of individuals from divisive religious and non religious backgrounds. Remove or replace formal opening prayers with inclusive silent reflection in opening ceremonies of Parliament and councils. Remove prayers altogether from ordinary meetings of parliaments and councils. 5. Evidence-based policy. Base public policy decisions on empirical evidence, scientific research, and universal ethical principles. Ensure that government statistics such as the census collect information on religious status in an unbiased way. 6. Promotion of critical thinking. Support education initiatives that promote critical thinking skills, scientific literacy, and respectful dialogue about religious and philosophical differences. 7. Promotion of interbelief cooperation. Support forums for interfaith dialogue, cooperation, and mutual understanding, including representatives from non-religious worldviews, such as humanism. For public funding recommendations, we advocate for the following. 1. Ensure that all publicly funded services are available to people irrespective of their worldviews, are not limited by religious prohibitions or exemptions, such as denial of services related to abortion or contraception, or the right to practice other forms of discrimination, do not require participation in religious ceremonies or observances, and are open to providers irrespective of the provider's worldviews. 2. Support a rebalancing of public funding of education towards public schools with the objectives of addressing disadvantage and inequitable outcomes. 3. Oppose advancement of religion as criterion for attainment of charity status. 4. Ensure churches and other religious organizations pay the same council rates and taxes as other businesses. Religious practices. Humanists Australia recognises that there is tension between freedom of religion and freedom from religion. While individuals should be free to practice their beliefs as long as they do no harm to others, we are opposed to practices that cause physical or emotional harm to members outside or within religious communities. Such practices include, but are not limited to, sectarian violence, withholding medical treatment, gay conversion therapy, genital mutilation, child marriage, coercive control, and shunning. Humanists Australia supports the right to make statements that may offend religious sentiments, as long as they do not vilify religious individuals or incite violence against them. In summary, Humanists Australia believes that secularism is essential for fostering a society that respects the rights and dignity of all individuals, regardless of their religious or philosophical beliefs. By upholding secular values, we can build a more just, compassionate, and inclusive world for present and future generations. And finally, with acknowledgements. The initial draft was Jennifer Rickson, Humanists Australia Campaign Program Manager 2024. Advisors were Michael Dove of Secularism Australia, Les Allen of the Ex-Religious Support Network, and the coordinator, Marianne Cosgrove, CEO Humanists Australia. Humanists Australia would also like to thank the 18 members of Humanists Australia who provided feedback on the draft of this statement, especially Neville Book and Alex Bejurak for their particularly thoughtful responses. Thank you all for listening, and if you haven't already, then please join our communities. They're in the description. I'd love to see you all there. Until next time, thanks.